That wasn't supposed to happen. What's up, everybody? Something happened with my music there. Anyway, welcome to Sunday night. It is All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show. Before we get started, and before I welcome my co-hosts and my guests, I would like to remind everybody that All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show is meant to teach and help, and the opinions stated by the four of us on the show tonight are not that of Smiteworks USA, LLC, or Fantasy Grounds. So let's get into it. We have a regular co-host of mine, Miss Fury Fate. Mrs. Fury Fate, how are you?
Doing well. I actually have what is this, charcoal infused chocolate ice cream right now. So yeah, I'm gonna be having that while y'all talk about boring stuff.
That's the best co-host thing you could possibly say. Hey, while you guys do boring shit, I'm gonna eat charcoal infused. I have ice water. I'm so excited. All right, Leroon will not be with us tonight, but in his stead we have Lady Shell. And how are you, Lady Shell?
I'm doing fine. I'm just melting down here in California, 92 degrees in my room. Because I don't have air conditioning. I'm just so lucky.
So don't you
Uh,
wish you had charcoal infused chocolate ice cream?
I don't know why charcoal infused. What does that
I
do?
have no
That's
fucking idea. Somebody just got this for me and I'm like, I'm gonna eat it. Whatever.
Wow,
hey, but the
so
chocolate part sounds good.
not only a bad co-host, but a huge bitch besides. Nice. Well, welcome. Well, that was a little joke, Fury. Welcome, Lady Shell, and our guest today, who's going to be talking to us about critically awesome essentials.
Cheerbits in the stream.
Cheerbits, Drake takes, cheerbits, take down, Drake takes, Bit Boss. And especially the one click more is Diablo Bob. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, it's going good.
Great to
So,
hear. And by the way, that ice cream sounds delicious.
it does? Yes, it does.
And
I don't know what it
lastly,
is.
druids are fun and not boring.
I like that Fury doesn't know what it is. She's just eating it. I have to go look that up. Chocolate infused charcoal. It's like ice cream they found in the bottom of a mine.
Cheerbits.
I don't know.
Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks
Cheerbits.
for the
Uh oh,
cheerbits.
McClancy's taking it back. He's taking it all back. Everybody. He's all right. It's all happening. Bit Boss. So, most of you guys know about the critically awesome essentials module, which does allow you to one click your druid that you're playing and shift it into any wild shape and have all the stats and all the codes that you need to do combat with it and everything else. But now there's a new thing called one click more. And Bob, what does that do? Why do people need to also get that one? What is it for?
Okay, so one click more is basically the additional WotC material and books that were not included with one click druid. So when the extension and the one click druid were originally released, I only included Monster Manual and Volo's Guide for wild shapes. And everybody kept asking me, "Hey, where's the rest of the wild shapes from? Prince of the Apocalypse and Storm King's Thunder and all that stuff." And I was always concerned about if I put too many beasts and all, too much basically NPC information into one module, that it was going to be like an issue where people might go, "Hey, you're kind of bordering a line and stuff." And I wanted to basically create a module to basically fulfill everybody's needs of the missing books and all the books to come. So when Descent into Avernus comes out, if that has beasts in it, one click more will have those beasts in it. It'll be updated.
Nice. Okay. That's awesome.
So an
So,
additional
yeah, go ahead. Yep,
an
go ahead.
additional thing that it does is it actually splits out all of the wild shapes into specific story module. So if you click on number 2 there, the wild shapes by story module, you'll actually like if you're running a specific like Tomb of Annihilation, or something like that, or Princes of Apocalypse, and you want to restrict them to only Monster Manual and that story module's wild shapes, you can do that now.
Oh,
I also
wow.
did include Volo's in there because Volo's guide does have a few stories. So those are
Okay.
actually links to the original one-click druid.
Okay, nice. So, that's good because a lot of DMs don't really pay attention to this, but the rules of the game do say that you're only allowed to change into a shape that your character has seen before. And so this way, that's really cool. You didn't even tell me about that. So then you can only, like, if you're playing, say, Storm King's Thunder, you'll see all these somewhere out in the world where you're playing. And so that would be appropriate if your DM has that rule.
Cheerbits in the stream.
Sometimes.
Thanks for
Oh,
the cheerbits.
Lady Shell, cheerbits. She's not taking it. She doesn't take it anymore. She's gonna take over. Thank you, ma'am. So yeah, so that's cool. Excellent. What else?
Other than that, I've updated all the lists for Moon Druid and non-Moon Druid for all the available wild shapes per levels and all that stuff. And if you go to number 8 there on the table of contents,
I love you,
that is a
man.
list of all the available wild shapes that are in both modules.
Oh, cool.
So by
Awesome.
CR level.
Yeah, excellent. George Orr, thank you for the sub, by the way. Thank you, George Orr. So every CR level and every one that's contained in both modules.
Yes. So that way, this will be useful if you're sending custom tokens and stuff, and you're curious what the specific, phrasing and stuff, because I don't put in spaces and stuff for the actual wild shape token reference. This is all the names used for the tokens.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, because let's just show people what you're talking about on a character sheet here on the notes tab. You go down here, there's a thing here where you can put in a token for wild shape or polymorph or shape change or disguise. And when you do that, you have to match this name. Like it can't be giant space owl. It has to be giant owl like this. It has to be exactly what that says. That's why brown bear has a capital B and no space, because if you go look at brown bear, which is, I don't know what CR is brown bear.
CR1.
Yeah, I'm all memorized, I'm sure. Brown
I've
bear.
been through the list a couple times.
See, so here's brown bear. So that's what you'd have to do. So that's cool. Awesome.
And also the other benefit is things like Awakened Brown Bear are now included with one click more. So if you're just tired of going growl, growl, growl at your enemy, you can literally in common say growl bitch and just, totally talk smack. So there's
Nice.
things like that as well.
Cool, very good. And this is, of course, the second module that is part of the Critically Awesome Essential series. So here it is here. I'll put the link in the chat. Now, we're going to give away a copy of this tonight. If the person that wins it doesn't have the required first module, which is here, then we'll give that to you as well. So there's really two of them. There's the Critically Awesome Essentials extension. It's an extension, which is what you pay $10 for. And then with that, for free, you get the one-click Druid module that goes with it. So that's the one that does all the initial stuff. And then the second part of it, that's normally $5, is this one-click more, which is basically module number 2 for that series. And then, of course, we say there's way more stuff coming. Oh, we don't have the list. I gotta go and change that. On the first one, it says the future, like what he's planning, all these other different stuff he's planning to add. So we'll make sure and get that out there. Now, I would like to just take a side note here and show people. Let me go click on Rob Toohey. So this is all the modules I have on the DMs Guild. By popularity, the first two are Critically Awesome Essentials and One Click More. So there you go. If you look at the ratings, both of them have a 5 out of 5. Oh, 4.9. Somebody, what the fuck? See, that makes me... 30 ratings, though. Only one person gave it a 4 stars. And why did they do that? Let's find out what that person said. I just don't remember what it was. You know what? It might have been like the first couple days. Oh, somebody gave it a 2. has potential but not working. See, that's what happens is it comes out the first day, somebody gets it and it's got a bug in it, and instead of letting us fix it, they go give it a bad review. So that's why that happened. We got 1 2-star review because it wasn't fixed, and then we fixed it, and then but the people, when they give a bad review, unfortunately for DM's Guild, and actually probably any place on the internet where reviews are done, Amazon or wherever, people give a bad review, and then when you fix the problem that they stated, they don't go back and change their review. They leave it because they don't give a fuck. Anyway, those are the 2 most popular things. So do we want to show an example, Bob, of what we're talking about here?
Yeah, let's do something new.
Sure.
All right, let's do something. Let me just open
Let's
a PC.
go first in the spell list.
Okay, in the
like
spell list.
Al Mirage or whatever it's called.
Al Mirage?
Yeah.
Is that
Alphabetical.
but I mean, is that a, what am I looking for? Al Mirage, I don't even know what that is. Oh, this thing. Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, if you switch on to Druid Wild Shapes, Al Mirage. Yeah, you can filter by Druid Wild
Oh, right,
Shape.
okay. So, yeah, so it's the one I opened, this one. Right, this one here. Okay, so we're going to put that on. Boom. So now let's get a token. Let's just do the Rob Tui token for ease sake. And then we'll go and put this in the combat tracker. Hello. Good lord. What? Unfortunately, I don't, can you just delete everything? Delete only foes. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now let me get a map. Images. Ah, great. No images. I'll just get an example map. Fancy Grounds battle maps. And we'll just open one. We don't care what it is. Boom. Alright, so now I'm going to put my new character on the map. Whoops, no, you don't do that, do you? You do it in the combat tracker. By the way, I've never used Fancy Grounds before, just so you guys know. It's my first time today. So,
I would recommend a class at Fantasy Grounds College. They do help.
That's right. You're absolutely right. And as a matter of fact, if there's anybody new watching on Twitch right now, I can put in FGC, Fantasy Grounds College, right there. So here's my character. Here's my character sheet. So I've added the and anything that you add from, these are all in the spell list. It works the same as my codings. It works the same as the items codings. It works the same as the inspiration cards. It's all based on what's in the spell list. So when you drag it over, it's obviously going to categorize it as a spell. And then you can change the category to, if you had a bunch of stuff on your character sheet, you might change it to wild shapes like that. And then have it just be wild shapes. So now what would I do here, Bob? What would I do?
So first you would or tell the DM that you're going to use your wild shape ability, and then he would say, okay, go ahead, and you click the little effect button next to that big little box of text.
Right here. And then when that happens, it's going to change the token, and it's going to give me a bunch of effects on my combat tracker. Maybe. Oh. Dropped on target, which is not listed in the combat tracker. What? Okay, let me do that again.
Okay.
Try that again. I thought I was on. Oh, you know why? Is that map gridded? It is. Okay, let's try that again. How come it's not working?
Dropped on target. Okay. I think you might be on the wrong player.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. So what happened?
I've never ran into that one.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's because I put the. There we go.
Oh, I think you put the copy.
Yeah, I did. Let's see. Let's just double check it here. There we go. That's the right one. Rob. Okay, now we're gonna do it. Put him in there. Okay. So basically, lesson number 1, everybody, is know how to use Fantasy Grounds. Okay, that's the first one. All right, there we go. So now it's on here, and you see that it changed my token.
It's a gerbil with a unicorn horn.
It's a gerbil with a unicorn horn. And so now so basically what it did was it changed all my stats. It remembers your stats that you had, but basically my strength is a 2 now because this little thing has a 2 strength. Now if I shift back, there's no way to do it and also look at your character sheet at the same time, unfortunately. But if I
You can actually click the little hand thing on the combat tracker and see the stats change
oh, you
when you shift,
can.
by the way.
Okay. Okay, good. So now everybody watch right here. These are my stats. Now when I shift back, which all I have to do is hit this button.
You have to remove the effect.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I don't know how to do this.
Again, Fantasy Grounds College.
Right. It's been a long time since I played a druid with this. So, yeah, I'm in the form. Now I'm going to take away this effect. And then watch right here. These will all change. And they went back to my regular stats, which I just opened a character. They're all 10s, right? So that's fine. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, now what do we learn?
Okay, so this one I believe is a tiny creature. So tiny through medium actually all maintain the same 1 square space. If you actually remove the effect, and if you edit, well, either you can edit the spell to change your size to large. So you want to be a large size El Mirage. If it says S size, and it should say, like, I think it's T. I can't quite read
S
your screen.
size, yeah, S size S. So then I would make it
Okay,
L, right?
L. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to manually edit your sizes, say you happen to see the only large size El Mirage in the world and you studied it and you're becoming a large size, you can edit it like that if you wish.
Okay. So
And
now
then
when I
when you
click on this,
change,
it's going to change 4. It's going to be 4 squares like that. And then
yes.
your DM at that point would say, "Hey, you're not in the square. You have to move over like that." So there you go, everybody. So you can manually edit stats that way if you choose to do that. You should never really have to do that, but it's available to you if you need to. So that's cool.
Well, also it allows for players and DMs to more customize things to their own liking. If, like, the stats are different, or if the size is different, or something like that. In the instructions under setting custom shapes and tokens, there's instructions on what each stat in there says. So, like, S strength is the shifted strength, S dex is the shifted dex. It's pretty straightforward, but also I'm the programmer, so it's super simple to me because I made it.
Right. But I mean, it's all laid out for people if they want to see, how to do it. He tells you how to do it here. So there you go. So if I wanted this shape to have a custom token, what I would do is I would go to the notes tab on my character sheet, scroll all the way down, and what's this guy's name? Al Mirage. His name is Al Mirage, yeah, ALMIRAJ, right?
Yes.
And let's say I wanted that custom token to be
Set it to wild shape.
wild shape. And you can't double click on it, right? You just have to go find the token and drag it in there.
Correct.
Okay, so let's say I just want it to be this one. This is stupid, but I'm just going to do it. All right, so now if I take that effect off and then I reapply it, it's now going to be that token instead. Boom! Look at that shit. That's how you do it. So you can make your wild shapes be any token you want, and not only that, your polymorphs, your shape changes, and your disguises. It all works the same.
Now, I have been getting a lot of questions. We'll answer George Orz's in a second, if that was what you were saying.
Yeah, that was gonna be the one I was gonna mention.
So a lot of people have been asking, how do you set multiple tokens? And the answer is as for right now, I have no way of listing all the custom selected tokens. But if you wanted to go through every single shape and put down every name, or even some personal custom names, like you wanted to name your guy George Orr, and make it a wild shape and then drop it on there. If you put your S name as George Orr, that custom shape token that you selected will change over. So you can effectively choose an infinite number of custom token selections. So it just the name and the type of shape, like a wild shape or polymorph or whatever, those two together are unique. So if you ever choose El Mirage and wild shape again, then you have to um, basically overwrite that one specific combo. But every single combo is unique from
Okay.
each other.
So if we did the whoops, oh no, that's not what
Sorry.
I want. If we did this, if I went in here and changed this to George Orr, I don't know how to spell George Orr, J-E-O. You know, George is an easy name. It just repeats itself. J-E-O-R, 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 J-E-O-R. It just goes on and on. And his is actually J-E-O-R, J-E-O-R. It is George Orr. That's got to be a fake name. All right. My birth name was O with 2 R's. So now if I go here and I change this to George Orr, and then I put a token for wild shape, and let's just say I'm going to use this crazy thing right here. Now if I go, see now I did that.
You changed it in the combat tracker.
Right, you can't change it in the combat tracker. I mean, you can, but it doesn't do any good because you are going to have to reapply the effect. So I need to go over here and change the Almaraz wild shape to George Orr. Like that. Now that I've done that, when I apply the effect, we see that I have the new token because I just made it there. So there you go.
That's a fully custom wild shape.
Fully customizable.
Now, if you switch it back to El Mirage,
okay.
like in the spell, just to show that you can have multiple custom things. If you switch it back to El Mirage without setting anything else, reapply the effect.
Boom.
Boom.
There you go. So now let's just do an example for people. I know it works the same, but let's do a polymorph, and we don't have to change. Let's do. So here, let me go back to Al Mirage, and let's choose a wild shape, a polymorph, shape change into a shield, and a disguise is a torch. And now let's show people how that works.
Okay. How that works is if you look at the effect, the first word in the spells listing, the first word says wild shape. Am I correct?
Yes.
Again, I can't read your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that triggers the wild shape. So if you change that word to polymorph, change the word wild shape.
Okay, so now there's not polymorph things available. You have to go and edit this.
No, in one-click druid, there are polymorphs for all of them. In one-click more,
so let's not. I don't want to confuse people that they have to edit that. Let's do it the right way.
So if you want to cast polymorph, go ahead and change the drop down to polymorph.
Here we go.
Okay, so just grab one of those polymorphs.
Okay, let's do. I don't know. Dolphin.
Random one.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now if you notice on that one, it specifically says, or it's for target, not for self. So that way when you choose somebody, like say you're choosing yourself, polymorph. So I guess control click yourself because you're only one on the combat tracker.
Oh yeah, here let's do it the right way here. I'm gonna polymorph that son of a bitch into a dolphin, right?
So yep, target him.
Fuck you, demon, whatever the fuck he was. I polymorphed his ass. That is very awesome and powerful. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I've only messed with the druid stuff until right this second. I never messed with any of this other stuff. That's crazy. I love it. Is everybody seeing this? Is this going out? Are we on the air? Okay.
Yeah, we see this and it's wonderful.
It's fucking great.
I mean,
So
I would have turned it into like, I don't know, a cat or a mouse.
So
now
let's
with
do
polymorph, you'll notice
Polymorph,
that
you
it's
can-
actually all
you
the
can-
stats,
yeah, you can choose.
but it's also there's that save right above it. So if you're doing an unwilling target, the way that polymorph says is you have to, or they have to make a save, and so you actually have the save built into that code.
Right. So then if I target him and he makes a save and he failed, and then I turn him into a dolphin. Boom. And now he can't breathe, and now he's dead. Okay. So then what you would do is when the polymorph ends, you simply
Just
take
remove the
that
effect.
effect off. Boom, he's back to what he was. That's awesome.
Now they will also revert if they take enough damage as well, just like with wild shape. That's the rules of polymorph. So it's the same effect with, or sorry, it's the same effect as wild shape. So when they take damage, the damage carries over and they revert.
Okay, cool. So now let's do a
Now for one click more, this coming week I should be pushing an update to include the polymorphs for one click more. My mouse died this last week, so I had to get a new mouse, and that kind of prevented me from finishing all the shapes for them.
It died
Okay.
from all that clicking.
Yes,
That's right.
all the singular clicking.
So we know about wild shapes. We know about polymorph. What were the other two? I've already forgotten.
Disguise and shape change are actually there. Those are explained a little bit right now in the instructions. What those are for, shape change is there is actually a spell shape change. I cannot do all the shapes for shape change because if you read it, it's literally any creature other than undead and something else. So if you want to shape change into a dragon, I guess you can. So it's basically almost all of the monster manual.
Okay, so you tell it, you'd say how to make a custom one, and just that's what you would do. Whatever you're doing in your game, you would just make it, and the same for disguise, I would assume.
Correct. Disguise is actually more intended for like rogues and stuff, or the spell disguise self, stuff like that. Shape change also can be used for changelings as well. If you change, you do your changeling thing. The only thing that's needed is the S name and the S size. Those two are kind of needed to actually set your token and set your size.
Okay, so now is there a shape change template or something for people?
Yes, if you actually scroll up on those instructions.
Oh, okay. Let me go back. Yeah, because I wasn't looking at them. I was just having it open. Shapes.
Setting, yes, right there where it says wild shape CRX, polymorph CRX, wild or shape change CRX.
Okay.
If you actually drag that into your spells, it's actually a blank template with basically X's. So the effect should say like
Got
let's
it.
see, what did you choose? Yeah, has like your strength, your size, all that stuff. All is X, so that way you just set what you need, and there you go. You have your shape.
So let's just make something up. Let's see.
George.
Yeah, George or. And let's say his hit points are 30. Let's say his AC is 12. Strength is 15. Dex is 15. Con is 11. Size is medium.
If there's no bonuses to skill, just delete that section.
Skill and note will take out.
Yeah, note is normally if you have like multi-attack or some other special ability or
passive
something.
Perception 11. Okay, so now we've set that. So now when I go to change, I'm going to polymorph into this
I don't think
thing.
you set the polymorph, George, or I think it was it the polymorph or the wild shape
did.
that you set?
Oh, dolphin.
Okay, so
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Hold on.
Yeah, you didn't.
Okay, so let me go back. Notes. George. Now, see, every time you do any different thing, you gotta make sure the name's in there. George or and polymorph. Oh, I didn't set it. Okay. So I'm polymorphing into whatever creature we just created with those stats. And it looks like... Is that blank? What the hell? That's boring. It looks like this guy. It looks like a genie. Alright. So now when I do it... And then watch my stats. So, let's see. Nope. Yeah, there they are. Okay, watch my stats all here. They'll all change. Boom. What did... I must have done something wrong. Hold on. I probably spelled George or wrong. I did. I totally did. That's exactly what happened. Alright, so let's fix that. Garog. So George or is now spelled right. Boom. Ah, what did I do wrong? I'm going too fast.
George, I can't read your screen.
Yeah, I'm going too fast is what's happening. Okay, so let's just look at this. George or okay, but what about the token? George or.
Is it capitalized in the right place?
It is, yeah. They do match. Am I crazy or do they match? George. George or. Yeah, they match.
In the effect, do you have a space before it?
Oh, does there need to be a space?
No, it's basically asking if you have an additional space there.
No.
Okay. Then that should work.
Oh, but I do have a semicolon where it doesn't belong. Well, so no. Still didn't work. Wasn't this fun? I guarantee you that the reason it doesn't work is because
different wild
I
shape.
screwed up something. Oh, I know why. Because I'm doing shape change, not polymorph. I'm doing it wrong.
Okay, so yeah.
There, shape change is blank. That's why. Okay, let's put the genie in there. Yeah. Okay, so again, nothing wrong with the module. It's only operator error, which is... I don't know why. I'm going to do this one. That's the thing we're changing into. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to do it. Yeah, there we go. So then the stats are all 15, 15, 11, 10, 10, 10, which I said they were. And, well, yeah, because your int and your whiz and your charisma, they never change. You always keep all those as your same character. But the hit points are 30. Now, if I take that away, hit points are going to go back to what they were. Just 13. Or 3. I'm sorry, 3. So there you go.
Now, to actually answer George Orge's question that he asked a few minutes ago, sorry, is he asked what's the easiest way to apply this to an NPC? The easiest way, honestly, is either to polymorph the NPC, or if you want the NPC to like morph or shape change or wild shape or something like that, you can actually take those effects and put them into a custom effect up in your effects box and just drag that effect onto the NPC.
All right, let's try that.
So in the spell, that effect.
Oops.
No. Nope, not in the spell box. In the spell on your actions tab.
Oh. So in order to do this, it has to be on your actions tab.
Yeah, basically that script right there is what you want over there. Now drag that onto an NPC.
Yeah, look at that shit. There he is.
Bam.
And then delete it. Wow, so that's pretty powerful. So if a DM wanted to do that, would he have to open a blank character and then copy the spell out to here and then do that? Or An alternative to that would be to have all the effects listed in here already.
Yes, I've contemplated that. I have actually tempted to add that if people request it.
I think
At
it would
this
be good.
point,
Yeah, I think it would be good to have if only the DM.
okay.
Well, because if you're a player and you have this, you can't. It doesn't help you to have it. You can't do anything, and you're not going to be able to do that because you're not the DM. But if the DM could see them all, then that might be something. I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? If you're DMing a game, would you rather create a blank character, go to the spells list, grab a polymorph over, put it there, and then grab it and put it here, or would you rather just have them all here already? I think I know what the answer is. Urash 54.
All the options.
All the options. Damn it. So.
All right, that's easy enough.
Yeah, that might be something to add in the future as an update.
Yeah, I can push that as an update probably.
But that is super cool. I mean, imagine being a DM and you're yeah, why would you need that? I don't know. I'm going to turn somebody turns the dragon into a box. Oh, okay, we can do that. Boom, it's done. Like 2 seconds. So that's pretty cool.
All right, so I'm going to be doing that by the end of the week. I'll be pushing that for One Click Druid, and I'll be finishing all the polymorphs for One Click More and pushing the update to include that as well, just so everyone knows.
Excellent.
And also for Madman, who said he would also like it for PF2. I am currently working on, as one of the side projects, a rule set agnostic version. So there will be basically a sidebar button, like the library and token button over on the side, that will allow you to set custom shapes and tokens. But it's going to be a lot more. You have to set the custom shape and token because I'm not going to know what rule set you're going for. So it'll probably just say either shifted or shape change. And then you can set your S name and all that stuff. So that way you can use it for any rule set that uses core RPG, because I programmed it specifically for core RPG, but I added in all the features for 5e because that's what I was programming it for.
Right.
But I did it with the idea of a agnostic version in the future.
Cool. Thank you, Celestian, by the way. We are not on camera, but Celestian can tell because I cover my mouth when I'm leaning on my chin, and that's causing my jaw to hurt every day now. And so he was telling me, get off your you don't lean on your chin, because I put my elbow on the desk and I put my face in my hand because it's very comfortable to do so, and that's causing my jaw to hurt. So then he's yelling at me, and I told the chat, yell at me, and he can't see me, but he can tell. All right, very good. This is so exciting. I want to just use all this now. What else can we say about this in particular?
Let's see. We can say that one's about to be given away.
Oh, snap. Let's do it. All right, let's go do it. So I'm going to start a raffle, a keyword raffle, you guys. The keyword is druid. Even though that's vaguely not appropriate anymore. It's way more than druid, but go ahead and type in the chat !druid. You will be entered into this giveaway, and again, if you win this and you don't already have Critically Awesome Essentials, the extension that makes this all work that comes with One Click Druid, we will give that to you as well. If you already have it, then you already have it, you don't need it, and then we'll give you this One Click More. So let's let that go for another minute and a half of people enter !druid, everybody. And do we want to show anything else? We've covered it all basically, right? We've done the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, everything in the module.
Okay.
We'll show something else in a minute. I do have a funny story about one or Critically Awesome Essentials.
Yeah, go for it. Tell it.
So yes, Montecurie, we're gonna show the token stacking in a second. So last week I was at work, kind of been in my own little online world type of thing for.
Oh yeah, you told me this. Yeah,
all the
this is great.
D&D stuff. So I was at work, and one of my coworkers came over, and we were actually talking about Python programming and stuff like that. Because I'm a programming hobbyist, I don't do it for a job or anything. And we got off topic and started talking about playing D&D, and I was like, yeah, I play D&D, but I mainly play online. I use a thing called Fantasy Grounds. He goes, oh yeah, my wife does that. She plays Fantasy Grounds all the time. I play Fantasy Grounds every once in a while. What do you normally play? I'm like, well, I normally play a druid. And he like interrupts me right there, and he goes, oh, my wife plays a druid, and she uses this thing called Critically Awesome Essentials One Click Druid. If you don't have it, you got to get it now. And so there was like that kind of like awkward moment where I'm like, yeah, I actually have it.
Yeah, that's me, fucker.
And he looks at me and he's like, what? And I go, yeah, I'm Diablo Bob. And then comes the awkward moment number 2, and he goes, who?
Yeah.
And I go, I'm Diablo Bob. It's published by Rob Toohey and Diablo Bob. And he's like, oh yeah, it is. And then he realized that I'm the programmer for
That's
it.
awesome. Out of all the places on planet Earth, you happen to have this guy at your work. That's so amazing. That is crazy. That's like somebody coming up to me and going, hey, you gotta get these codings for Fantasy Grounds. It's awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I got them. That is a great story. Okay, let's give away this prize. Boom! Parody Bit 1. You have won.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. And Parody Bit 1, I don't know if you're on my Discord. I'm going to put the link in the... I'm typing Parody Bit 1. How about I type the word Discord instead? If you want to come to my Discord channel, just send me a personal message and we will take care of you. We'll tell you how to claim that prize. And as a matter of fact, because this is how we do on this show, we're just going to give away another one. Boom. rhammer2 or rammer2, however you say that. Also, send me a message in Discord. The link is in the Twitch chat right now. And both of you guys, gals, and or attack helicopters will win that prize because it's awesome and we love everybody. All right.
Congratulations, both.
Now, what was I going to
Now for fun.
Oh, yeah, now for fun. Oh, you want to do the tokens thing? Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and throw another character into the combat tracker and throw them on the map.
Guess what? That's the same fucking one. Goddamn, you'd think I would be. Okay.
Out of curiosity, what is your push to talk key?
My push to talk? I don't have push to talk right now.
Okay. So, right now is Rob's turn, right?
Right.
So if Rob, say, place him on top of another token. Now, if you were to normally click down because say you want to move Rob, click it and move the token that you grab. Okay, so that's the normal interaction.
Right.
Now put him back on top. Now press Shift and click down while you're holding Shift and move it.
What? Yeah! This is such a problem in Fantasy Grounds. Hashtag solved.
Now, go ahead and put him back on top. Put that other third one on top of him. And do the same thing. Press Shift and drag it.
Whatever. Whereas if I don't hold Shift, that happens. That also happens. And then I get to move myself. And then, we gotta put these guys back. But not anymore, everybody. Hold Shift and move your own. Problem solved.
Put them on back. Now, for the DM, you have to hold Shift, and what you do is you grab the active player's token. So switch it to another player's turn. Now hold Shift and grab it. You'll grab that token.
Boom.
So if it's an NPC, if it's a PC, whatever, whoever's turn it is the one that you grab as a DM.
That's
now,
a
for
sweet
players,
ass action.
For players, default, it only grabs the one that they own.
Right.
So if you were the owner of Rob and you click down on that stack, it would do the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Because of the way that it has to do it, because it actually recreates the stack in place, If there's like a latency, you may one of two things will either happen. When you click down as a player, you may have to like wait like a tenth of a second before you move it. Or if you click and start moving, it may basically release the token, and so your mouse is just dragging across nothing. So you're not holding a thing. But if that happens, your token is now the one that is selectable.
Right.
So that happens. That's the only downside of using it like that as a player is sometimes there's a communication latency because how it happens is the DM basically recreates the stack with your token with that specific target token on the bottom and selected. So yeah, it happens like that.
Now, how come I can't? As a DM, I'm supposed to be able to hold control and move and then draw my movement. It's not letting me do that. That's probably a setting that I don't have set. But what about that? If somebody, you know how the
If
biggest.
you hold control,
Uh huh.
control is actually basically the escape key for it. If you hold control and you click like to target or something like that, if you're pressing control, the script does not do anything.
Oh, but you know how
If control is pressed,
if you're okay, that could be a problem. If you're DMing a game, and you know when DMs pick up tokens and they just move them. But if you want to be able to show the players the movement, and I do this in my games, I actually hold control, move the token, and it draws the path, and then I approve it, and that's to show the players how the token moves. But it's not letting me do that here, so that might need to be a.
well, the control as being the escape is only for the player. For the DM, the script only works if you're holding shift. Otherwise, you have normal token interaction.
Okay, so is
Somebody
that?
said you may want to lock tokens.
Oh, that's what it is. My bad. That's why it is. Okay, so what I want to know is if you do that, and then you do that. See, it didn't. It moved the other token.
Are you holding shift?
I did not.
Okay, now
Now let's do it.
reset them. Now move the token over to like basically draw it like that. Now hold shift while you're doing it.
Oh, oh my god! Okay,
That works for players as well, but
Yeah.
for players it's automatic.
Right.
So if they move as a player into another token and then they click and pull because theirs is automatic, it does it automatically.
Look at that shit, everybody. That's what you need. Oh, I just fucked it
You
up.
just wrote.
I just fucked it up. I ruined it. So let's go there. I'm holding shift. I'm holding shift, holding shift, holding shift. Okay, now if I approve it. See, and that's a big, because normally what happens is you go like this, and then I want to move there, and then move down. Oh, it's still letting me do it. Whoops. Still letting me do it. I don't know why. But normally it wouldn't let you do that. Does it remember that? Is that why it's letting me still do it, even though I'm not holding shift?
Once you do the first couple pathings, it's just selecting it.
Nice. So that is a
Like,
big deal.
That's
Downloading
what
that update now, Rob. Roll for Fun is like, yeah, I'm getting it right now. So that is a big deal. And we need to, on the sales page on DM's Guild, we need to really, I mean, we do say here somewhere.
Token stack resolved.
Yeah, where is that? It should be in giant red letters, like half the page. I know it's here. What did I?
Are you on one click more or one click?
Yeah,
Druid?
one click more.
Okay, it's on one click Druid because
Oh,
part of the
it's
extension.
Right. Okay, you're right. So let's go back to that.
But yes, for players, that pathing through other tokens and grabbing the token stack and stuff is all automatic. As the DM, if you wish your players to have to use shift to activate that, you can do that in the options menu, as well as if you just want to turn off the feature and just have them interact normally with tokens, you can turn that off too. You can also turn off the DM feature as well on the options menu down in tokens. There's one that should say player. I think it's like player stack
Player
resolved or
token
something like that.
movement.
There
Only
you go.
own shift click stack off. So there you
And
go.
then there also should be a DM one, so that way if you use shift as your push to talk and you don't want to constantly accidentally grab the wrong token and stuff, you can just turn it off, so that way it doesn't work for the DM. You just have normal token interaction.
Right. Very good. That's amazing. That's almost the most exciting thing, because every game anybody's ever DM'd a Fantasy Grounds or played, actually, and you're moving your token, and experienced players don't do it, right? But newer players or people that haven't fucked it up enough times to remember it, they'll keep, and then the DM goes, no, don't stack tokens. Oh my god, please. Oh, and then they melt down and they put their forehead in their hand and they lean down, and then they shake their head and they close their eyes, and it's just so painful.
Rob,
and now nobody has to worry about it.
Throw a bow on the field.
Throw a bow. Okay, hold on.
So say Rob dropped a bow.
I drop a bow. All right. Oh, by the way, I should maybe make sure I have all these turned on the right way. Hold on. There we go. Okay.
Now move through the bow.
Oh, but I didn't hold shift.
Control.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, hold on. Boom. Look at that shit. Nice. And then if I hold... Yeah, see? That's how you do it, everybody. Oh, wait, I didn't... Yeah, now
and yes, Roll for Fun, both Module 1 and 2 are fully compatible. They both use the same extension, which parity bit, make sure that the extension, the .ext, is in the extensions folder, while the two .mod files are in the modules folder.
Right,
in
let's show that.
Grounds.
So in the extensions folder, you're going to have critically awesome essentials.ext in your extensions folder. And then in your modules folder, you're going to have...
One click more and one click druid.
Which are probably down though. Here, let's alphabetize it. I have a few modules, everybody, just a few. You're going to have one click more and one click druid in your modules. So .mods always go here. .exts always go in your extensions folder. And anything that you download from me on the DM's Guild should have a README file that tells you that. Which, you should get this when you download it. And
Journeyman, no, it does not currently count through allies as difficult terrain, due to that being variable via house rules and such. Some people count it as a difficult terrain, some people do not. So I did not mess with the measurements going through party tokens.
Yeah, the rules say that it's difficult terrain, but you might have somebody who's a halfling and can do that without, and there could be any number of variables that allow you. McClancy, that's only you, Rob. It's not just me. So yeah, here's the README file I was talking about. So this is awesome. I'm gonna maybe pass out. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and that would have been nice last night during your little token party. On last night's game.
What did I have a token party last night? What are you talking about?
When you had all those tigers in the one room and they were all like ganged up and
that's right. That was the 5e pickup games. I had 25 tigers in there and I was stacking them and it was crazy. Actually, what I was doing is I was saying, and that token moves into this space, but we weren't going to do that because it's token stacking and then move back. You know what? I probably had the extension installed and the mod installed and just didn't know how to use it because I've never, you tell me, hey Rob, it's ready, and I'm like, yeah, cool, and then I move on to my next thing and I never test it out and I just trust you. And so yeah, that would have been nice to know. So now I know. All right, so good. What else? Oh, I know. Well, so there's one question I want to ask you, but I want to wait till we're all the way done. So is there anything else we can tell people about this, or did we cover it all?
There's a question in the chat.
Okay.
Sure.
Roll for Fun wants to know, says, great, one more question. Let's say I'm using a very large the very large spell effect tokens to show the AoE and graphics of the spell. Is there any way to change which token is on top or make the spell AoE token a non-selectable token or something other or some, well, it says or something other way, I think it means or some other way of handling it without resorting to using multiple map layer extensions? Wow, that was a long question.
Okay.
So I have one of those tokens there.
Yes. So there's a couple different ways to do it. One is actually um, if the DM grabs it and picks it up, it will be drawn on top, but it will not be the one that's selected. So this is how you do it without using the layers extension. To make it non-selectable for movement, I believe you have to actually attach it to a NPC. So if you actually create like basically a blank NPC and use that as the token and have it hostile inside the combat tracker, I believe the players cannot try to move it.
Yeah, now I wonder, hold on a second. I wonder about that because I think, whoops, hello. Let's just everybody relax. Let me go to the library for 1 second and open spell tokens.
However, with the way that it's set up, if the player does click on a token that they do not own, it'll immediately put it back down on the map.
Okay, I want to just see something here. I believe the spell tokens module, which most people use, I think it costs $5 on the DM. It's nothing that I did. Why the hell is there 14 copies of everything? Oops, no, never mind, never mind. So they treat all of them
They're
as
on the combat tracker.
Yeah, fuck, Jesus Christ. Okay, so alarm. So now if I move this over, it goes, yeah, the reason I stopped using them is I could never get the sizes. You know, this should be bigger, right? I could never get the sizes to match. But now if that is an NPC rather than just like, this is just a token. This is an actual NPC. But players will not be able to grab and move that because it's a hostile, it's a hostile thing. Only the DM can move it, but players couldn't do it. So now if a player went in there and then moved out again, they would only move their token.
Yep.
And that's what that's for.
Before, if a player went in there, they wouldn't be able to grab their token. But if you hold shift, or if the DM basically picks up that token and puts it back down, then the player can click on their token. With this extension now, if the player moves in there, they can just grab their token by clicking on it and moving it. So that way they do not interact with any token that they do not own directly. You can still use control and click and grab. That's the escape key, because that way if you can target other tokens and it doesn't really mess with that functionality. But if a player basically goes and tries to grab the dinosaur, they'll click on it and it'll immediately place it back down on the map, unselected.
Okay. So, but the important part is if I'm a player and I move my token in there, I can then grab it and move it out. And that
You didn't hold shift.
Right, but I'm saying if I'm a player, I wouldn't need to hold shift, right? It would just happen.
Correct.
Okay, I might have just sexually climaxed. I know that's TMI for everybody, but just everybody should know how I'm excited about this. All right. I don't hear any laughs. There's 3 people
unfortunately,
on the show.
without layers, or turning it invisible, to my knowledge, the only other way to add it so it's not selectable would actually be to add the image to the map and then lock the map, because then it becomes part of the background image and non-selectable.
Lock the map. How do you do that?
Yeah, the little
right up here, like this.
Yes.
Right.
So if you lock it, that now fireball there is not selectable.
Not by players.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, but
but also when you do that, you cannot add other images to the thing. So if they drop a bow, you'd have to go up, unlock it, drop a bow, relock it, etc.
Now wait a minute. As the DM, if the map is locked and as a DM I can't drop an object on there. I never do that. Yeah, it does. It works.
Oh. Well then, yeah, I've never actually messed with that yet.
Anyway, this is
I always leave it unlocked. Sorry.
This is advancements. This is as good. I mean, this is as powerful as when I first created the spell tokens or spell codes, and people were blown away. They're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know you could do this." This is as powerful to me as that. Smiteworks should be hiring all of us. All right. I'm just very excited to play every game from now on, just because of this. I mean, even if you're not a druid, you can still use this movement thing. I mean, that's crazy. DMs are gonna freak out. They need
It
to know
has
about
been a pain in a lot of DM sides for a bit.
Yes, and that's kind of what we're doing here. Everybody is, Diablo Bob and Valerian and a couple of the other guys that I'm working with in various different ways. I mean, we're doing, I got Matakuri and Walking Dude and Marbanya working on modules, but we're all sort of on this team trying to come up with stuff to help everybody to play the game better. I mean, it all stems from the very first thing I did, which was worth anything, which was the codes. And I say this all the time. I say it on about every fifth show, but the money's good. I like the money. I'm not, I'd be lying if I say I didn't like the money. But what really gets me going is when somebody emails me and says, "Oh my God, my group and I are playing these games and using your codes, and you can't even believe how much faster and smoother we play, and we're so appreciative, and thank you, thank you, thank you." That's the kind of thing that makes me crazy happy. And this is one of those things. This is one of those things that will just make everybody's games better. And I just am so happy that I'm involved.
And with DM tools, which is the next module that's scheduled, and I'm working on it, but I'm also working on making sure that One Click More has the polymorphs. I'll be adding in all the effects for both modules. And also, I'm working on a couple big projects, which Rob knows about. So DM tools is scheduled to come out, I'm hoping within the next month or so. So when that comes out, I will be adding in other quality of life features as well that I'm hoping will also be useful for people.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I kept asking if we were done showing everything, because that's what I wanted to ask you is how much do you want to talk about what else is happening? So DM tools and what is
with DM tools?
Yeah, go ahead.
So DM tools is going to be yes, anime roll for fun animated spellbook is on the table. That is in the future. I'm hoping to get that one before Unity drops. Hoping to get that one done. So the things that DM tools will have is they'll have like plague effects, like vampirism, lichens, actual plagues, stuff that will be able to move from player to player to player and infect other people. Additionally, will be familiars, mount handling, uh, basically like animal handling type stuff, pets. And with that is actually the other quality of life thing, specifically player owned droppable spell tokens. So a player could actually add a spell token to their individual spell in their actions tab, and then they will be able to drop it on the map as, say, spiritual weapon.
Oh my God.
Hammer or whatever. And then they will have ownership and be able to move it.
You're gonna kill me. I'm gonna die before all this happens because I'm so excited. I'm gonna have a heart attack. Oh, that's so awesome.
That one is coming, I'm hoping, within the next month. So there's other things scheduled for DM tools. Most of the additional features for that one I'm keeping kind of close to heart, because it's one of those spell tokens definitely being released. Spell tokens, pets, familiars, mounts are all being released with it. However, there's other features and quality of life things that will be added to it before Combat Helper and Animated Spellbook come out.
Nice. All right. How much, and this is completely up to you. I know I didn't talk to you about this before we started the show, But how much more would you like to reveal, if anything, at this time?
I will give you carte blanche on that one.
Okay,
You
let's
decide.
let's talk about. You don't have to go into detail, but give the elevator pitch for the thing that's coming out that relates to the most recent module and the one coming in a week or 2 weeks. Just give the elevator pitch to them about that. Just give them a teaser.
Okay. Basically, right now, as a working title, we're calling it the Vehicle Combat. It's going to handle vehicles as they currently exist as ships and, future vehicles, um, and be handling a lot of different elements. Valerian is currently one of the other project people.
Here's
And we're
a
out.
here's a mock-up. This is a very preliminary. So you can see here the vehicles
Yeah.
button will be a thing, and this will be an extra thing that. Go ahead. I just wanted to have that.
So
up
the
there.
vehicles will be dropped onto the combat tracker. PCs or NPCs will be able to board the vehicle and then interact with the different levels of the vehicle. So if you're on the top deck or the gun deck or whatever, you can actually switch the vehicle maps like that. And if you're on, say, the gun deck, you'll be able to target external ships with that ship's gun, things like that. That's something that we are currently working on. Um, we're still in very early build mode. Right now, we're just basically um, Valerian is the main person working with the windows. I'm working a lot with the codes, etc.
Yeah. So the idea was to get that out as close to Avernus as we could, but it's going to take as long as it takes. So we'll see. But it'll be pretty
I'm not
exciting because
I'm
Ghosts
not gonna go super in depth on its function and stuff right now, because as of right now, how we're making it, because we're trying to make it sort of like one-click Druid, where it's very easy, intuitive. You click on it, you know what to do. So some of the interaction functionality may change between now and release. So I don't want to go too in depth on functionality, other
right.
than you'll be able to board the ship. You'll be able to interact with the ship and use the ship to interact with other entities.
Right, and the reason we're saying vehicle is because it'll work for any type of vehicle. So ships, land vehicles, any of that stuff. So you'll be able to do Ghosts of Salt Marsh out in the ocean, or Avernus in hell and driving your Mad Max machine, wherever the hell it is. It'll work for everything. It'll work for a horse and donkey, whatever. If
Additionally,
you're gonna take your horse and cart into battle, then good luck.
that's true.
Yeah.
Additionally, something else that it's going to do is it's actually going to use specific coordinates. Um, so, say if you're on a ship and you're aiming for the hull, it has a specific AC and hit points. So you can aim for the hull, or you can aim for the front gun, or whatever. And it's going to automatically apply the negatives or bonuses per the rule sets. Additionally, it'll actually handle the different hit points automatically. So each part of the ship has different hit points and different ACs. So it'll automate that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if you
so
go
there's a lot of
to
different stuff.
we showed that if you open up, let's just open up Salt Marsh really quick. We showed that in a show before. The NPCs in Salt Marsh that are ships. Let's see. Ballista. So there's parts of a ship, but let's look at like what's that thing called? A warship, right? So a warship is the hull, and then it has all the parts of the. Well, what the hell happened? Where are the parts? Well, it should have. Oh, he did them. I see what happened. Okay, yeah. When I did Eberron, I put the different parts. I linked them on the back page, right? So I linked them all here. But the warship is here. So you'd put this on a map, So where the hell's the map? So I know this isn't water, but let's just say you had the combat tracker. Let's just clear some of this crap out of here. So let's just say you had the warship in the combat tracker. You'd put that on the map, right? So it's this giant warship. And then on that warship, you would also put its helm, its oars, and its sails. And each of these would be like on the ship like this. And then you could target those different things, right? I'm just throwing them on there, guys. I'm not trying to be, And of course, maybe it would have a graphic for the ship. So this will make it. This makes it so that all this stuff can still happen, but then it'll just be in its own thing. And if there's a ship map that has 4 decks, you can switch between the decks, and I mean it's going to get crazy. And again, we don't want to get too deep
in the
into
individual window right now. It may change, but right now we're planning for the DM to be able to switch between the levels of the ship or whatever via tabs, because we're all kind of already used to it.
Yeah, so this window that I showed you guys a minute ago, this one here, it'll have tabs down the side or whatever, so you can go from deck 1, deck 2, deck 3, whatever, poop deck, aft deck, fuck deck, whatever it is. I don't know how to do naval stuff, but it's fun. And also if you had a land vehicle that had an upper deck and a lower deck or whatever.
And the other interesting side effect to that we've talked about, I do not know if it's going to be on first release or an additional update, is because we're handling levels and etc. It could actually handle a multi-story building. If you say you're in a 4-story tower and a fire breaks out, and you basically have to run your entire group through the towers quick or something like that. It should be able to handle a multi-level building.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's super cool. Man, I love it. All right. If you have final questions, guys, ask them now. We'll try to answer them. Lady or Fury, did you guys have any questions that you guys had that didn't get answered?
No. I mean, granted, a lot of this kind of went over my head. I just, I'm gonna be one of those people that when I use it, I want to just click the one time and have it work like magic.
That's right. That's what it's all about. Some of this stuff is super complicated, but like Bob said, try to make it intuitive. Try to make it so that it's easy to know how to do it.
I'm just thankful that you made this because, it saves a whole lot of time for the players and a whole lot of headache for, DMs that they don't have to go in and do it themselves.
Yeah. Rob Tui, you guys are amazing. Keep up the work. I seriously think Fantasy Grounds should hire y'all. But darn it, I'm glad you're able to afford to do what you do. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Orc Luck. So guys, if you have any more questions, congrats again to the prize winners. While you guys are formulating your final questions, Fate is a token stacker. Let's call it out. That's Mark said that.
Well, he can go.
Swarms.
Yeah, I got some words for him.
He can go fuck himself, is what you were gonna say.
I was, but I was trying to be nice.
You're trying to be nice until the show goes off, and then you're like, "Fuck that guy." Anyway, so next week on the show, we're gonna have Chris from Game Tile Warehouse. He's been on the show 2 or 3 times, maybe two times. He's gonna be talking about his Terraformer Kickstarter. If you guys want to look that up now, you can. Terraformer on Kickstarter, but we'll talk to him next week. That'll be fun. And then we got some D&D Essentials kit. When that comes out, we'll open that up. We're going to talk about DM's Guild with Grimlore, get a different perspective other than just me all the time. And then Baldur's Gate comes out on the 17th. So on the 22nd, which is the first Sunday after it comes out, we'll dip into that. And who knows? Oh, I said September 7th. It's September 17th. So we'll see if in a month from now or 5 weeks from now if we have something for that or not. But hopefully we will. But if not, we'll be soon after that.
So Layrin is in the chat. He keeps asking if he's winning or did he win?
Oh, did you win? Yeah, you won. You won the number of prizes equal to how many times you hosted a show today. Oh, is that 0? What's 0 times 0? I'm funny. I think I'm funny. Nobody else does. Feared's laughing because it's not true.
Watch him stream a class now.
Yeah, he's gonna go do a class. That's a did I win is a joke between me and him from like 2 years ago, because people would come in there and say that all the time. So good. Diablo Bob, any final thoughts for the audience peoples?
I just want to say thank you, everybody. I greatly appreciate all the positive feedback I've been getting. Definitely keep an eye out for updates and future stuff. I'm always trying to improve how things work in Fantasy Grounds, and if there's some little feature or something that may be useful, let me know. PM me in Discord or something. If it's feasible and I can add it to my list of to-do stuff, which I will admit right now is fairly large, but depending on how feasible it is and how useful it would be, it will depend where it fits on the stack. So thank you all, and happy gaming.
Excellent. Any final words from the ladies?
Not really. I'm kind of quiet today, apparently.
Well, we're
She's
glad-
lying. She
glad-
left like half an hour ago.
She's
Who
gone.
wants a pet unicorn gerbil? Come on.
Well, I'm glad you were here, lady. Thanks for coming to the show. You're always a welcome addition to the show. And then Fury Fate, any final words from you?
The charcoal infused chocolate ice cream was really delicious.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, actually. All right, very good. Well, so thanks everybody for coming to watch. If you are a person who is seeing this video on YouTube after the fact, come and join us on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, United States time, and win some prizes. Come and win shit. We give away stuff every week, sometimes way more than other weeks, but our record is like $1,600 worth of stuff on one stream. But today we gave away a couple prizes, so that's awesome. Congrats again to the prize winners. And let's go ahead and throw up the slides so people can see like what's up. We do all kinds of shows on this channel, so if you're new to the channel, thanks for coming by. Come by and see our game on Friday night. Fury and I are in that one. We're going to be starting a Saturday game. Diablo Bob, are you in that game?
Yes, I am.
Yes, he is. And we're going to be starting an Avernus game on September 7th. That's why I kept saying September 7th. That's the day the game starts, but the module doesn't even come out till the 17th, but we're going to do a couple Session 0 and like a prequel, stuff like that. Module creation Monday. Come by and join us on Wednesdays for 5e pickups. All kinds of stuff happening here. And we just love Fantasy Grounds, and we love all the RPGs, but especially 5e on this channel. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend, as many hours as left in it. And until next time, good gaming, everyone.